Hello, planet Earth. How's it going? I'm Chris Machete. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I am going solo as Brent is in outer space somewhere. Check one. Check two. I think we got hang on one sec. We're getting there. How's that sound? Is it okay? And I left the door open behind me just so that if a ghost shows up or something, you guys can say, and then we can rewatch this and say, did you see it? That's what we can do. Okay, so that's why I left the door open back there. We're redecorating in here. There's nothing on the walls at all. It's pretty blank. All right, we're good. Volume, everything's sounding good. Very cool. My producer is very sly tonight. She's not saying much. She's just looking at me and nodding. But we got a good show ahead for you. How are you doing? It's really warm where I am. I live in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. And the weather's been beautiful. I've been working on the yard, feeding the animals out in the back. I have a forest out back, which is really cool. And we had to feed the animals. We have ducks out there. I think we had 4 in our backyard today, which is a record for ducks. Yes. See, one poster. There's that Ace Frehley poster, classic. Sorry, I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. I like that a lot. But we're going to talk about some rad stuff. So I'm flying solo tonight. Brent is in the cosmos somewhere. I think he's in Mexico, actually. So don't drink the water, apparently. Do you still say that when people go to Mexico? Don't drink the water? I don't know. We'll find out. I'll ask him when he gets back. So anyway, we've been working here at Machete Comics at lots of cool stuff. I have a new book coming out. And it's funny because I try and explain it to adults. And a lot of the times I will say it's like the heavy, or actually kids and adults, you know, it's funny. I'll say, you know, it's like the old Heavy Metal magazine or Epic magazine, you know, these short stories that are just crazy and they don't really understand what I'm talking about. And they'll say Goosebumps for adults. And it's like, ding, then they get it. Goosebumps for adults. So that's what the new comic book coming out is going to be. Tentatively called right now Gateway. And it's a gateway of the mind. It's some pretty cool stuff. I'm very excited about it because the artwork that I'm putting into it is very, very heavily detailed in the classic sense with the inking in the brush. Very classic 70s style, I would say. Lots of detail. And the subjects are pretty heavy in a gory, detailed way. The stories are so deep that it's hard for me just to like casually tell you about what they're about, right? So I'll have more as we're going along. And the other cool thing is that I'll be working with another writer or two here, which is great. Okay, so there's a good one. Look at that. So we have coasters available now. You can buy these online and we will mail them to you. $15 for the coasters. That's the Joker coaster we have. Pretty rad. Joker coaster. Ha 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 ha. Now we have the live from Machete Comics. It's a corkback. Is that what it is? Wow, corkback coaster. So if you're looking for something like that, we have those available online. This is all at our store. You just click on this steely here, and you can buy these products. And the new comic book will be available there eventually. Now, check these out. Skeletron comic book bundle. These are the first 3 comic books that we released under the Machete Comics name. And this is a continuing story that is based here in Kingston, Ontario. It's dark humor, dark comedy, but with some pizzazz thrown in there. One of the villains is a retired wrestler, and he has taken residence in the jail. Not the jail that people are in right now, but the old one. So we set up a wrestling ring in there, and there he is on the cover of number 3. Now, this is a great deal because you get all 3 comics for $20, and that's $10 a comic, right? Is that shipping included? No, that's not including shipping. But if I do see you somewhere and you want to buy them, $20 each. But there's their plus shipping, which is probably about $7.
I think around, yeah, for Canada.
For Canada, you're looking at 20. So you're paying $10 for each comic and then $7 shipping. That's not bad. That's not bad. And I'll tell you what, there's only 100 of each pressing of that number 1 there. That's a second printing. Get your hands on that. Yeah, that's second. So we got a party guy poster here, The Shining. Beautiful stuff. Now that's a printed poster that big. Okay, so that's what you get. That's the great party, isn't it? This is near the end of the movie, The Shining. I like that one because it's very clean looking. And we can do any size you want. You can do small, large, but the price would vary. If it was smaller, obviously, that's one of the larger ones for $33. The smaller you go, the less you're going to pay, my friends. If you get the digitally, it's way cheaper. And we're having a big sale on that we'll get to eventually here. But I love the movie The Shining. And that's like a conversation piece type poster the cats are stalking. Remember, if you see anybody over here, let me know. Maybe we'll get one of those videos. Did you see it? Oh, and this is one of my personal favorites. This is a reproduction that I drew myself of Hulk, Incredible Hulk 181, which is the first appearance of Wolverine. And it was, I drew it, pencil, inked it, and then scanned it into the computer. I believe this is the color version. Yes, from digital color on this one. So a newer version of that. It looks great. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. Pat myself on the back for that one, right? So that's what's going on with Machete Comics. We are still sitting on Skeletron number 3. If you're looking for issue number 4, it's in the system here. We're just not done yet. We're kind of bouncing between 2 titles right now. As the new one, I would like to shop to another comic company, which I have a couple in mind. So if nobody picks up on it, though, I will release it independently, which I like to do. Independent comic book business is what we do. I love it. Comic books are good. Good for the soul. Now, I'm trying to think of anything else I can pump that's under my wings right now that I can talk about. We have a couple things that are going through the city that I can't talk about yet, but we're really looking forward to that. Helping kids out. It's going to be more on the teaching side of things, but we're going to do something rad helping the kids. It's going to be really, really cool. Because you know what? As much as I don't teach as much as I used to, right? I don't teach as much as I used to, but I really enjoy teaching to the kids who really need help, and they don't really need to be taught as much as they need guidance or just somebody to kind of help them, let them know things are cool. You can go ahead and have these ideas and don't be shy. You know, tell me your ideas. We'll draw them out. Be creative, because kids like that stuff, right? So that's just a little nugget of towards what I'm going towards with my school. I'll drop you the name. Chris Machete School for Gifted Youngsters. Okay, so that's what I have coming up on the school side of things. 2 comic books. We got Skeletron available. We got the new one, Gateway, that's coming out sooner than later. I'll be dropping hints on that one. That's classic stuff. I love it, love it, love it. And some other writers are going to be involved in there. I'll tell you who they are maybe next episode. All right, anything else about, if you want to see any of our stuff, stop by the store. Please feel free to stop by the store. All right. Let's move along, and that is Machete Comics, and this is live from Machete Comics. I am Chris Machete Cochran. I am the owner. I am the artist here, and today and tonight I'm the main podcaster because my co-pilot and best buddy Brent is out on the road. I don't know what band he's on the road with. There's the producer's hand though. Excuse me.
It was a ghost.
No, did you see it? Did you see it? Anyway, that's what we're looking for. Do you watch those videos? Those YouTube videos where something happens in the corner of the screen? And then the dude says, "Did you see it?" You got to watch it back in slow-mo. Some of them are pretty cool. Some of them are not. But look at that out there. This is just like one of those videos. Mm-hmm. Like perfect. Mm-hmm. There's nobody else in the house but cats. So if something happens, conspiracy theory. So this show is a on-running conspiracy theory on whether or not we can catch a ghost behind us. This is a brand new house though, man. I don't know if that happens. All right.
On Indian burial ground.
We're not on an Indian burial ground. We're definitely not. We're on limestone, and a lot of it, man. I tried digging in the backyard. It's like dig, chunk, 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 chunk. Because the limestone in Kingston, where we are, especially near the 401, man. Wow, a lot of that in the ground. If you were looking to bury a body, this would not be the place to bury it. Don't come to my backyard, friends. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And on that note, hi, Mom and Dad. How's it going? They rode for a barbecue over the weekend in the backyard, and they know there's no bodies back there. Okay, let's move on. So, yeah, I'm Canadian. I drink a lot of beer, and I watch a lot of hockey. My team's out. The Leafs are out. This isn't a hockey show or a sports show, so I'm not going to go into the depth of conversation that I've had with my dad and my neighbors. All my neighbors are Leaf fans, and boy, after the final game where Florida beat them out, that's all we were talking about outside. And range of emotions, you know. I don't hate the team. I'm not a big fan of the coach, to be honest with you. I think they should have played Simmons. Marner's scared. Chuck was just walking around punching him in the face and laughing at him, saying, "I'm going to punch you in the face." Marner peed his pants. Leafs, what are we going to do? Anyway, they got through the first round. Well done, boys. Well done. Well done. I think if they get Laviolette or the gentleman who just left the Rangers, if I say it, I'm going to say it incorrectly, but he just left the Rangers and I'm forgetting his name. But Laviolette's another one that may be good. I don't know, he might be a little too strict. We'll see what goes on with that. He's won a cup. He's had a couple runs close to the cup. Yeah.
You can talk about the conspiracy theory.
Well, no, because we have to run the conspiracy before we run the conspiracy theory. So at the end of it, if we have time, we're on for 45 tonight. If I have time, we're going to run the conspiracy theory that will link into this Toronto Maple Leafs. And I never thought I'd be doing a conspiracy theory involving the Toronto Maple Leafs, other than Bill Marilko disappeared that summer. He was on a fishing trip. The last goal they ever scored won the Leafs the cup. They didn't win another until his body was discovered. That's tragic clip song. That is an actual conspiracy theory with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bill Marilko. So we'll talk about maybe one at the end of the show if I have time. Yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs conspiracy theory. It's coming. Okay, so that's the lead. Again, I can't. It's too. I can't just touch on it. I can't just touch it. I gotta get right in there. I'm gonna talk about the Leafs. So we're gonna keep moving because, as I said, I'm Canadian. I drink a lot of beer. I watch a lot of hockey. I read a lot of comics too, but that's beside the point. Moving on to comic book stuff though. So Marvel Comics, Marvel Studios, we have the new big baddie coming out to be Kang the Conqueror. And the actor that's portraying Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors, was doing a little conquering of his girlfriend there, and not good, man. I shouldn't make light of it, but I saw a pun, I went for it. Strangulation, assault, harassment is what he's being charged with. That's his girlfriend. So they can't. That's his Disney company that's paying this guy, right? So I would think Jonathan Majors. I haven't looked into this totally to see whether they're going to save his job or not, because I would just think after I looked more into the charges, because it's like, okay, well, this guy's a douche. If the charges went through and everything. Yeah, not a good guy. But what does that do to Marvel for their main baddie coming in? Because we all know our heroes are only good as our villains. We know this. Batman's villains, Spider-Man's villains. So I'm not sure what they're going to do there. I still have not watched Quantumania. Do you believe that? Still have not watched Quantumania. Ant-Man movie. Yeah, I thought it would be free on Disney maybe by now. I'm being stingy. I just want to see it for free. If you see it for free, can you complain? Yeah, I guess you can, right? If you pay to go to the theaters, you definitely have the right to complain about the movie. But if you're watching it for free, well, we pay for Disney Channel, so technically we're still paying for it, right? Yeah. So I still haven't seen Quantumania Ant-Man. I did see Kang in some other shorts and some other TV show episodes and such. But I don't know what they're going to do. I guess they could just kind of slightly change him in CGI. They can CGI anything these days, right? So they could CGI his face a bit with that. The thing that I'm looking forward to coming out of Marvel is a cartoon, X-Men 97, which is going to kind of pick up after the classic X-Men cartoon from 1996, I believe, wasn't it? X-96? No, 95. It was out 95 and 94, 95, I think, if I remember correctly. And that was great. It's funny because I will talk about X-Men cartoons. Sorry, allergies, man. I will talk about X-Men cartoons, and people will say, "Oh, which X-Men cartoon are you referring to?" And I'll go da 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 da. And me and my wife have this thing where we go X-Men. I wish we had the song here. We totally should have had that, because they needed to. They could totally improve on the song by just adding the words X-Men to this. So the X-Men 97 cartoon is something I'm really looking forward to. It's just going to pick up where the other one left off. I think Magneto's going to lead the group at this point, which is another awesome fact, because I love Magneto. I think Magneto's one of the best villains out there. One of the best Marvel characters out there, so let alone villains, right? All right, do we have the intro?
I'm looking for it.
Just looking for it. So what are they going to do with Kang? I don't know. That guy, I thought they would have another villain in along with Kang. Galactus or something. There's still got to be more villains, right? We still got more movies to come. We'll see. And of course, as I mentioned, I haven't seen Ant-Man Quantumania. So I don't know if he is the official bad guy in there per se or not, because I don't read a lot of spoiler reviews before I actually watch these, because that's not going to work for you. All right, don't worry, but I can move on.
Oh, okay. Just got it.
What do you got? Well, I don't know if you got it, if it's in there or not.
Yep. Here we go.
Guardians. Oh, we got it. There we go. So this is the classic song. This is my favorite. Probably my favorite cartoon theme song. Now, this is what my wife and I thought they should have did here. Ready for it? Here comes. X-Men. Right? Okay, wait, you coming again. I love the card. X-Men. See how it needs to be in there. Right? X-Men and X-Men and X-Men and X-Men and X-Men and X-Men and X-Men. So this is the original cartoon that they will be jumping off from. And I don't know if you watched this back in the day. I think it was around for 4 seasons. It's really good. They did a lot of the stuff that was in the comic books at the time. Gambit, Magneto, you know, they had the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in there, Jean Grey, Beast, Cyclops, Wolverine. Again, I threw it on the other day. So I'm looking forward to that. Out of all the Marvel stuff that's coming out, I have the most confidence in the X-Men 97 cartoon.
Did somebody famous write that?
Nope, I don't believe so. But they went so close to what was in the comic books at the time there that it was basically written for them. They didn't change it much either. If they did change anything in that X-Men cartoon series from the comic book, it was just to make things maybe a little less violent, because there were some pretty rough things in some of those X-Men. Well, in any comic book in the late 70s, early 80s, right? There's some rough stuff. Let's say stuff you couldn't get away with today, right, Lonnie? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Guardians is in the theaters, I believe now. And I have not gone to see that, but I'm a big fan of the Guardians movies. I love the first two. I think they're fantastic. I think all the actors and actresses are spot on. And I'm looking forward to seeing Rocket. You get to see his history in that too. So I'll be interested to see a little bit more about Rocket. Great character.
Did James Gunn?
Yeah, he came back for that one. I believe that was his last one. And now he's out. He's ruling the DC universe, which will be, I'm always hearing so many different things about the DC universe. I can never quite get a grip on what's going on there. Actually, now with the Marvel universe too, I'm having a hard time figuring out what the deal is and where they're going with everything. I hear there's a new actor be playing Spider-Man. Tom Holland will no longer be Spider-Man. Now there's a Spider-Man cartoon movie that's out right now. I just saw an ad for that. But as far as what's going on with the whole batch of stuff, I don't know, friends. Is Marvel falling apart? I did an article on this on the website about what Marvel could do to get things back on track. Like, are they falling apart? Are we losing the direction of our Marvel comics, our Marvel studios? Do we need to go to a different direction? Does Quentin Tarantino need to do his last film? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right. So Marvel, I don't know what's going on there, man. All I know is I'm looking forward to that cartoon. They got some trouble. Marvel's got troubles. Disney Associates Star Wars, we've got news that they are going to go ahead with 3 new films. And what's going to happen with these 3 new films is they're going to take the shows that are going on right now, like The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, the ones that are doing well, and they're gonna headline these and aim towards a new movie where Rey is going to be heading a new Jedi Academy. So I could basically see Grogu having a huge part in the future somehow. He's just such a great character, and there's so much they could do with him as he's so young. Now, they can't go in to this the same way with Rey just being like Palpatine's granddaughter. They're going to change it because they've realized there's something wrong with it. The people that are in charge of the direction of the new movies now are the same group that are in charge of the TV shows now. So having them link the TV shows to the movie is already a good start for me. Now, if they were to go in and change Rey's story, that's a big one. But what they would have to do is just say that Palpatine lied. Now, is that a big stretch? No, he's a Sith. He lies all the time. That's part of his gig. He's a liar. Look it up. He's a Sith. So if they did go back to saying that Palpatine was lying to manipulate Rey, I think I'd buy that. I'd buy that. And then go into, again, my favorite remedy for this is to have Obi-Wan Kenobi be the father of Rey. And then that way she's Rey Kenobi and she leads the new Jedi Academy that way. And we have Grogu in there I don't know how old Grogu would be at that point. I should have looked that up beforehand because math is not my friend. And I can't do the math to figure out how old he would be there compared to Yoda kind of deal, right? But I'm sure he wouldn't be anywhere near his prime. So that would be a great continuation right there. And then they could have like a whole bunch of little Jedis running around, which would be really decent. Then you got your whole new generation coming out and you have Rey Kenobi, who is a real Kenobi, not like a Skywalker who she was lied to about her heritage and such from the villainous Palpatine. Such a villainous guy that he would lie to her. I would buy that. I would totally buy that. And I think that would be a great direction to go. So am I excited about the fact that they have announced that they're going to do 3 new Star Wars movies? No, because I knew they were going to. Am I excited that Rey's in there? I kind of am, because I know if they're going to put her in there, they're going to fix it. They're going to fix what they left the other movies at. And then they'll come back and say, well, we left it there that way on purpose, so everybody would come back to see us fix it. That's what I'd say. Mm-hmm. If I was the big owner of that company. Totally, that's what I would say. Yeah. All right. So let's finish off our talk about Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, the whole deal. Now, if you are in the know about comic books, you're going to remember some of this stuff. Again, in the 90s, some of the biggest comic book artists said, we've had enough of the biggies of Marvel, and they left to start their own company, Image. Right there, Image Comics. So this is from Jim Lee, and he was doing X-Men at the time. He is now running DC and has done amazing stuff for Batman. Okay, so he left Marvel when he was at the height of his career, joined Todd McFarlane, some other rad gentlemen that I'll discuss here, and started their own company. Now, this is Jim Lee's first book, Wildcats. Now, here's the biggest one out of the group that came out of it was Todd McFarlane, the Todd father. He brought Spider-Man back when comic books were not treating Spider-Man very, very well. He was not a popular player. Nobody was buying his book. Stories were pretty lame. Wasn't a lot of popular people drawing and writing it. So Todd came in as a new guy, and this is the book that came out of Todd. Now you can see that maybe the Spider-Man or Venom influence, because Todd McFarlane created Venom. Now this is his first book. There's from the Image title again. Doink. That's his first book after leaving the big leagues, after leaving Marvel, taking the risk, starting their own company. Right now, here's where I'm coming. Now we've got now. Todd McFarlane is credited with creating Spawn, which is great. And again, as you can see, it influences, or not Spawn, I'm sorry, Venom. And as you can see, he creates Spawn. This is his character. He created him when he was like 15 years old or something. You can see the little bit of resemblance between Spider-Man, Spawn, Venom, Spawn right there. So Todd McFarlane did create Venom, and he does get credited for it, which is great. Now, another one here is Rob Liefeld, who was never a great artist, but he had really good layout in what he did. Now, this was the last big book that he did for Marvel. Now, he also created Deadpool and co-created Cable here. All right. So they gave him his book, Rob Liefeld, X-Force. And we see Cable, and we see Deadpool, and we kind of see X-Force in the latest Deadpool movie. Now, Rob Liefeld left, and he really, I was going to show his comic book, but Youngblood kind of sucks, and it really didn't do well. Whereas the last stuff that he did and created for Marvel was a hit. Excuse me. So the theory that I'm throwing out here is that Rob Liefeld never should have left Marvel. He left as in his early or mid-20s, right? And at that point, he had created Deadpool, Cable, and taking a comic book series that nobody was buying called The New Mutants and turning them into X-Force, into this huge comic book. Now, the funny thing is I bought 10 copies of this because I thought it was going to be like $1 million book. It is not yet. It is not yet. But I think Rob Liefeld should have stayed with Marvel, and or went back to them anyway. Because Jim Lee, who did Wildcats, he went back to DC. Right now, he's running the show there. But I don't know if Rob Liefeld should have left. I think if he would have stayed there, he might be running Marvel by now. Could you imagine that? Wow, there'd be a lot of guys without feet running around there, wouldn't there? And in the Deadpool comic book, they make fun of the fact that the guy who created it can't draw feet or hands. But look at how little that gun is. I'm putting my hands over everything. Sorry, look at how little that gun is he's holding, Cable's holding. Now, here's another thing that kind of bothered me about the movie rendition of Cable. Look at how huge Cable is here. Yeah, he's smaller than Deadpool in the movie. You can't do that. You can't do that. So these are some heavy hitters that left Marvel. So if you're looking at some staples in comic books for the beginner collector out there, I recommend grabbing X-Force #1, which you're going to get for a good deal. I recommend grabbing Wildcats #1, which you're going to get for a good deal. And I recommend grabbing Spawn #1, which you're going to have to pay probably like $50 and up for.
And there's a new movie coming out.
There will be a new movie, so that I would grab this soon. All right. There's our Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, all in a nutshell, folks. Thanks for sticking around and listening to that. I have no partner tonight. Brenna's gone, so I got to drink my water in silence. Ready? Maybe I could do that thing where I throw my voice while I drink. Ready? Nope. Did anybody see any ghosts in the corner here? Yeah, remember, we're keeping our eye. We got the Ghost Watch. It's Ghost Watch 2023 right here. Did you see it? Somebody's going to hit me up and say, hey, Chris, at exactly 23 seconds, I saw something flicker up there in the top corner. Or the door handle moved right there. That'd be cool, because then I can do a conspiracy theory on my house. No, that'd scare the crap out of me, actually. Never do a seance in your house. Never do a seance in your house, right? Has anybody ever done that? If you've ever done a seance in your house, I need to hear from you. Okay? Anything creepy like that or just got out of your control, I don't. You don't even have to be on my show. Just send me what happened in an email. That would be fantastic. I'd read it online. You can even withhold your name. I'll just call you Fancy Pants. Right? All right. Okay, we talked about Machete Comics. We talked about the Leafs for a minute. We may talk about them more. I think we're going to have time to talk about the Leafs again. We talked about Marvel. Where's Marvel going? I don't know where Marvel's going. What the hell's going on with Marvel? If you know, you got to tell me, because I don't know.
I think... Can I say something?
The producer says she knows what's going on with Marvel.
Oh, well, I'm not... I just think...
Now she's not sure.
I just think their comeback will be with the X-Men.
With the cartoon?
No, when they do the movies.
And when's that going to be, right? Because here's the thing with that, is they're so worried about offending people with the name X-Men.
Oh.
Because people are sensitive. And unless they listen to rap and hip-hop music, then they're not offended. Or popular music today.
So you think they're going to rename them?
It's already a thing. They're saying, like, there's a rumor they're going to be called the Mutants. I don't know what they're going to do. They got to call them the X-Men. It's just stop. See, now you're offending me. And it takes a lot to offend me. Don't change X-Men to X people or whatever. I know I'm with you. I don't like people who get bullied, and I don't like people who have, who are hurt for feelings that they're just trying to express as themselves. The X-Men are mine. Leave it alone. X-Men. Sorry. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about entertainment-wise on all that. Yeah. Oh, Star Wars. 3 new movies. Oh, okay. Knew it was coming. I'm actually glad Rey is in them because I think they're going to fix this. Now, if we go back, if it comes out and it is Obi-Wan Kenobi as the father, I think I should start a GoFundMe to get a 3D printer because I want one and everyone should help me. That'll be the sign. We'll never know. That's not going to come for ages. Okay. You know what else I like? Wrestling. I don't like to physically wrestle. I'm too old for that kind of Jackson because I'll hurt myself, but I did wrestle back in school. I used to fight a bit. I played hockey all my life too, right? So there's a lot of roughing in there, but no more physical violence for me, says the wife, right? Nah, she's fine. She beats me up all the time. Body slams, suplexes, wrestling. Okay. If you're into AEW, did you see that Moxley versus Kenny Omega match in the cage? Damn, they broke through the cage, and I don't know if that was real, like if that was supposed to happen or not, because I don't know. It didn't seem like it was supposed to happen, but nowadays everything seems like it's rigged in wrestling, doesn't it? What a fight that was. Wow. And then at the end of it, was it Don Callis? He turned on Kenny Omega, and they've been together since Kenny Omega was just a little kid. So that was quite the soap opera exchange there with a screwdriver to the head. One thing about AEW, if you really like the rough, violent kind of stuff, AEW still has that going on there. The rough cage fights with the foreign objects. I noticed that WWE is bringing the blood back. The last 2 matches, I saw blood in the matches there. It was they're bringing it back, which I'm fine with because you punch somebody in the head with that velocity, there's going to be blood. So yeah, AEW though, man, they got so much rough stuff coming up. We're going to do a full episode on AEW, so I'm not going to do too much about them here, other than suggest if you are an avid wrestling fan that you should watch that match. It's a really, really good one. Then they're great. They're good wrestlers. Like they're probably 2 of the best wrestlers in the industry today, and they really throw it down there. I've always enjoyed Kenny Omega because his style is really awesome. And of course, Jon Moxley, who used to be in the WWE, he is just rough. It seems like he just loves to bleed himself. So I always find those matches exciting. My wife doesn't like to watch those wrestling matches with me. She doesn't like the blood in them. I find it makes it more real. I buy it a little more. I get the kayfabe a little more. And I still like kayfabe in my wrestling. But if we go to WWE wrestling now, and they have a big event coming up, and that's going to be in Saudi Arabia. All right, and that is what's that one? That is called the Night of Champions, bringing it back. Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Now, here's the thing. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are the tag team champions. They've now been scheduled. Now, there's a lot of information here, a lot of sidebar stuff. Stick with me, wrestling fans. Okay. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, tag team champions, are going to be fighting Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, who are calling themselves the Wild Samoans, which is a throwback to blood relatives who Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans from back in the late 70s, early 80s. So, the thing is, though, Sami Zayn, because of his religion, will not go to Saudi Arabia. Didn't go before. Don't understand the whole deal there. But, the show doesn't deal with that kind of stuff. Power to your own selves, man. You do you. I don't know what you're doing. So we're not sure, and neither is the wrestling community. Are they going to lose the titles tonight on Raw? Mm-hmm. Are you going to watch Raw? Are you a wrestling watcher? I'd love to get some more feedback. I'm going to talk to you more the feedback, because I'm getting a lot of viewer feedback lately, and I love it. What are they going to do here? Are they going to drop the belt tonight? Or is Sami Zayn change his religion so that he can go to Saudi Arabia? Decide he likes them. I'm cool with him, he says. I'll go over. I'll go to Saudi. I'll hit it. I won't quit it. I don't know. We'll find out. Also, of course, we have... Now, this is a repeat match, though. Huh? We've got Brock Lesnar versus Cody. We've seen this. We're going to see it again, though, in Saudi Arabia. Oh. Now, again, this is the kind of match that they would not get out there very often, so I could understand why the Saudi Arabian WWE fans would want this. I get it. Totally. And plus, this should be a really good match. Really good match. This should be pretty brutal. Cody Rhodes can throw down when he wants to, you gotta see. I like the wrestlers that can wrestle, but at the same time can throw down and really take the bumps. That's why I'm an ECW fan. Is those guys could really take the bumps. Woo! So you give me a guy like Kenny Omega who can wrestle and take the bumps. That's some cool stuff. Yeah, Kenny Omega's top 3 wrestlers for me. Big fan. Okay, so back to Night of Champions. Nice tribute that Roman and Solo are doing to relatives, the Wild Samoans. And if you're an old wrestling fan like myself, you'll remember the Wild Samoans, man. They were crazy looking and they were awesome. Headbutting everybody and such. That's a cool throwback. So why isn't Roman defending his title, though? I think he'd be defending his main title at this show. Again, Raw's tonight. We got time. Now, the other one that we're going to see is Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. Now, we got to see 2 tournaments leading up on either side to this. And those are pretty good. Seth Rollins, you just got to stop the Joker shtick. I just don't like your Joker. I'm going to go over it over and again, but I'm going to keep saying it until you quit. Stop it. Don't make me go on about his song either. Whoa, come on.
They just love it, though. The audience loves it.
No, I'm not a Seth Rollins or friends. I'm not. I'm hoping AJ. I'm cheering for AJ Styles on this one. I got AJ on this one, even though it's hard to like AJ when you read about his personal life. See, that's the thing, is you really got to just kayfabe here, right? So, yeah, I want to see AJ Styles win that, though. Definitely. Cody and Brock, I want Cody. And I don't know what's going to happen with that other tag team, so I'm not calling anything on that yet, because that's too, but I don't know what's good. We'll see what happens on Raw tonight. We'll see what happens. Now, I want to talk briefly about wrestling catchphrases, because it's funny that, back in the day, I really liked The Rock's phrase, and we were out at the bars when I was younger, and my wife was there too, and Brent was there back in the day. We'd be like, "Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?" And we just love saying that. Now it seems kind of like, you smell that fart? You smell it? I don't know. I immediately go to thinking you're joking somebody to smell something bad you've done. Isn't that funny? But back in the day, you'd say, I wouldn't say that out in the open today. But you know what I would say? Woo! Ric Flair, man. I think that is the best catchphrase ever. Woo! Love that one. You hear that one somewhere, that you're like, hey, yeah, that guy. That guy knows. Hey-oh! Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Like another one where it's just like, Not even really a word. It's just somebody saying something, right?
Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold said so. That's a good one. I like that one. Stone Cold said so. That wasn't bad.
I remember that.
Yeah, and Hulk Hogan used to say, say your prayers and eat your vitamins, which that's a pretty funny one now, thinking about that as well. So when we have family functions now, well, my parents come over for dinner usually once a week, especially in the summer. Sometimes we go over there, we go out, but we have the barbecue here. And it's been an honored tradition now that when we have them over, we'll watch a WrestleMania. And we've been bouncing around. We watched WrestleMania 7 over the weekend. It was the one where Randy Macho Man Savage got back together with Elizabeth, right? And everybody and everybody in the crowd's crying, and my parents are just blown away by how into it all these fans are. Like, they're like, oh my god, they're crying, and my parents just couldn't get over it. But they watched the whole thing. Like, they were into it as well while we had our dinner there, right? It's really cool. So we've watched a few of them with my folks, and it's always entertaining. I find the classics. We watched the classic ones though, right? As I mentioned, the one we watched was WrestleMania 7 last night, and that was back in the 91 or something like that. Yeah, early 90s, right? Fun stuff. Yeah, so it's the catchphrases. There was a couple more, but I'm blanking on them now that were out there. If you know any wrestling catchphrases that you thought were really cool or really lame, let me know. Diamond Cutter. I just like the way you said cutter. DDP. Diamond Cutter. Yeah, I don't know, Diamond. DDP. I was watching some old WCW wrestling lately, and I'm digging that old stuff. Yeah.
Did Bret Hart have a slogan?
Bret Hart, did he have a slogan, or did you say it was the excellence of execution? I think he was the excellence of execution. That's what he would say. If I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, like, see, I had all these before I hit the show, and now I'm kind of blanking on all of them now.
Mick Foley?
Nah, I don't know anymore. Okay. Undertaker, rest in peace. But then the Rock one hit me, and I just remembered how much I enjoyed saying that at the bars or being out with my friends or whatever. And now I'm like, nah, I'm not going to say that now. Do you smell? But the Rock
if he did that,
is cooking.
Kind of funny, because everybody be like, "What are you talking about?"
Somebody's got to bring that back. And if I hear you in the grocery store, I'll be like, "Yeah, babe, do it." Nice wrestling. So that brings us up to date pretty much. We'll see what happens on Raw tonight. So as I say, I'm right back into the wrestling. AEW, WWE, I don't care. As long as I don't have to see the McMahons on TV. I'm totally down with WWE again. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. If you are just getting back into it, or you haven't dove into the behind the scenes stuff of these wrestlers from the 80s and early 90s, you gotta watch like Dark Side of the Ring or Beyond the Mat, that kind of stuff. Because man, there's some stories in there. Like, there are a lot of most of them are heartbreaking. You know what I mean? The Jake the Snake Roberts one is just brutal. And of course, the Owen Hart one, where he was supposed to come down from the top of the ring, or the top of the rafters, and land on the ring safely, and his wire cut, right, his harness cut, and he fell. Like, whoa! Imagine falling from the top Maple Leaf Gardens, and imagine if we were in a time machine. But you know what I mean? It's like the poor guy fell, and there's one on him. Oh, there's so much on there. Road Warriors, Chris Benoit. Wow.
That's a two-parter.
That's a two-parter. The wrestling world is amazing. It's just, there's so much. Nowadays, I don't know. Like, I watch it because I do find it pretty entertaining. I find that it's the spectacle of the WWE now is amazing. It's like a rock show. It's like a Kiss show. It really is. And then you go to AEW and you get the kind of the classic feel where it's more in your face and they're rougher in there. So I'm enjoying both leagues. I think it's great. And if you're into it, as I mentioned, look behind the scenes on these folks, man. Wow. Macho Man Elizabeth is a good one. Really good one. Man. And guess what? We do have time for our conspiracy theories, folks. So let's run my favorite part of the show. I'll have a drink of water. All right. Is that your first time watching that? Because that's pretty cool, huh? Okay, so conspiracy theories. We have talked about some pretty rad stuff. Now, as I mentioned, when I do my conspiracy theories on here, it's funny because if I discuss this with people away from the show, they're like, you talk about conspiracy theories? It's like, oh, no, not like government conspiracy theory. Oh, immediately people like to go to government stuff, right? I like to stay away from that because the bottom line is I think the government's going to rip... They're not our friend. We have to vote for them. You got to think for the best that they are going to care for us. But I think we all know that, money talks, my friends. Money talks. So anyway, my conspiracy theories are more fun. We have talked about Bigfoot. That's another one. That's the one that I actually have not seen anything that made me go, well, this could be real. I had a fishing and hunting TV producer on the show. And, he hadn't seen anything. So if you have had an experience with a Sasquatch, please let me know. Again, I'll read it. I'll read it online. That'd be really cool. We also did, what was the other ones? Well, we did Ancient Alien Theories, which is a very common one because that TV show's huge now, right? And that is on if the aliens came down and were the ones that were talking about in these biblical stories and not burning bushes and such. I have a sidebar to that. It could have been magic mushrooms. I could go on about that. And that was another one that I did. Psychedelics and the Bible and how some of it could have been them. Your neighbor's cooking mushrooms. Hey, I found some in the forest. What are these like? I don't know. Try them out. Whoa, those are the wrong mushrooms. I'm seeing all kinds of shit. Could have happened, right? And we did a couple. Oh, we also did my buddy Bob Lazar from Area 51. Oh, that was a good one. The guy who got kicked out of Area 51, he got fired, and then he got caught bringing his buddies back in the field at night to watch the UFOs go around. Oh, Bob Lazar. You got to check out Bob Lazar. That dude's friggin' awesome, man. That's another one. Now, tonight we're going to talk about another fun one. Now, this was all the buzz in my neighborhood. Toronto Maple Leafs. Is there a conspiracy theory against the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup? Now, I know you're out there going, why would there be, why? They'd make money. Toronto Maple Leafs, as far as the NHL teams go, are already at the bubble. They're already the highest producing team. So what the guy that's running the league, Gary Bettman, would want, first of all, sidebar, he's so concerned with where the TV setup is for each team. Canada's not gotten a team in ages now. So his main concern is the revenue from TV and getting hockey across the world. All right. So we're in the play now. The guy running the show here, the conspiracy theory is that he doesn't want the Leafs to win the cup because they're already making as much money as possible. When you have a brand new team like, say, the Seattle Kraken, who are still in, and I don't know if I think they're moving on. I can't. I'm not keeping up with it after my boys and the Leafs got out. Now, is Gary Bettman fixing things through the refs and whatnot so that teams that can make more revenue, that are more under the bubble, the ceiling, give them more of the playoff spots so more money can be made. Now that is the conspiracy theory. Are the Leafs being held back? Now I know I got a lot of Bruins fans out there giving me the finger right now. And that's fine. That's okay. I actually thought I saw something on the corner of my eye there in the hallway. No, I'm sure I didn't. So the game, though, they called a non-goal. The puck did go over the line. There was no whistle. So the rule is the puck is still active until the whistle is blown. There was no whistle at all. The puck was across the line. Okay. I don't know. That's crazy. There's elbows. There was a lot of things the refs did that didn't seem right, especially in the West McCauley game and the Lightning game. That it's a tough one because I'm too close to it because I love the Leafs. I thought the Leafs played really well. Sidebar as well. I thought the coach did not. If I was the coach, I would have did a coach's challenge on that goal because there was no whistle. Why he didn't do a coach's challenge on that, I do not know. Maybe he wasn't allowed in the rules. Can you not do a coach's challenge on a goal like that? I don't know. Again, if you're watching and you know the answer to that. Secondly, Mitch Marner was peeing his pants out there. Why was Wayne Simmons not in there for one game just to let the guys on Florida know I'm here for a game to beat the shit out of you? If I need to, I'll be back. That's all you had to do, Sheldon Keefe. Keefe will be back, though, won't he? Yep, he will. Sorry, getting a little off here. So, a little off topic. Is there a conspiracy theory? It's funny because I never really thought about it. And then you look how well Vegas is doing, and you look at how well Seattle's doing. The brand new teams that could use the most revenue. I don't know. Or are our boys in blue just not cutting it? Is there a conspiracy theory there? Are the Leafs destined to never win the cup because they already make too much money? I don't know. But I like watching the Leafs, and I'm going to give them a shot next time. I think they got another window. I would love to see a different coach in there. Like I said, Gallant. That's the guy's name. We get Laviolette in there or Gallant. That'd be great. Anyway, my 45 minutes is done here, my friends. I did it. Now it's pretty easy. I can talk forever. I could do another hour. I'd need some more water, though. But hey, thanks for tuning in, everyone. One thing, I got a little extra time here. What I wanted to just point out is that I'm getting a lot more views, a lot more connections, followers, which is great. But with that, I'm getting a lot of attractive women and men sending me messages asking me, you know those ones you get. So I'm having a hard time finding the actual messages from people who are watching the shows. I don't know if you notice from when you see it coming in, it's not actual people. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. That helps my conversation a lot.
I don't know which
the more followers you get, all of them. So on my Instagram, I'm getting more followers. On TikTok, I'm getting more followers. But the messages I'm getting in my inbox are all from people who obviously don't want to talk to me about comic books or my podcast. They are
spam.
Yes, they're attractive men and women in these little photos that say they want me to, save them from this or do that. So my point is, as my producer just shot me down with their knives in her eyes for some reason. Yeah, wow. Please put a little urgent or whatever beside if you send me something. The best place to get a hold of me is really on Facebook, to be honest with you. I would appreciate hearing more from you because I have gotten so many more other messages in there that I didn't see or I don't bother to look at because it was in with a bunch of mess. But I appreciate all the new fan mail and all the new followers and such, man. The cult of Machete is growing. We will conquer, my friends. Oh, we will conquer. Peace and love with a throat punch in there, right, Lonnie? Yes. Peace and love with a throat punch. All right. Cheers. Okay, well, that was good. I touched on I touched on everything I enjoy at the moment right now, except for toys. That was the other thing I want to talk about, but I left my toys out in the other room. I must have bored the cat, because the cat's asleep. Beans never sleeps. Anyway, I know my mom and dad are out there watching. Party on, my folks. Hope you're doing well. We'll do a barbecue again this weekend. What are we going to do with Marvel, my friends? Let me know. What are we going to do with Marvel? What would you like to see with Marvel? Kang. What the heck? What's our villain going to be here? Well, CGI him? Probably. Star Wars. Is there hope for Rey? Should she be a Kenobi? I think so. Wrestling. Do you watch it? I do. Right on. Okay. Cheers. Party on. Watch the Crier Media Network. Be excellent to each other, but most of all, my friends, be excellent to yourself. Don't let the negative people get you down, the negative energy. Don't fall for it. Don't go looking for it. Take care of yourself. Right on. Planet Earth rules.